are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the College Loop Podcast. I'm Dylan Boateng on Twitter, and a happy Easter to everybody. Pre-recorded stream today because I'll be out with the family celebrating the Easter holiday. But I did want to have an episode go out because I wanted to talk to y'all today about my predictions for who is going to lead Auburn football in each stat category, at least the major stat categories. And towards that, at the end of the show, what about the transfer portal? Because, good Lord, basketball had themselves a end of the week, if I've ever seen one. So just to get started right away, start off easy. Passing yards and passing touchdowns. It's Jackson Arnold. Obviously, his job to lose. I don't think anyone really thinks Deuce Knight's going to be the starting quarterback in 2025. I think it's obviously like give him a year, and then 2026 we start having that conversation, unless something just goes out otherworldly wrong. Jackson Arnold should be the leader in both of these categories. It'll be interesting to see how many passing yards he does in fact get. With Peyton Thorne almost being, I believe Peyton Thorne was almost either was a 30,000-yard passer or pretty close to it. With Jackson Arnold and the talent that he has, if he's able to keep turnovers to a minimum, he could be a 3,000-yard passer in this offense with weapons he has. I mean, his wide receiver room is absolutely loaded. He has weapons literally everywhere, and they all demand to have them on their hands. So Jackson Arnold, I don't want to do I'll do the whole other show where I can predict how many yards and touchdowns he's going to have. But right now it's just the stat leaders. So Jackson Arnold will lead Auburn football in passing yards and passing touchdowns in 2025. And, leading up to another combo, rushing yards and rushing touchdowns. Going to keep decentralized in the one person too. I think Damari Alston, with him being the starting running back going to 2025, I do believe that he will be leading Auburn in both those categories. I think with Darrell Robinson did not practice through spring. He was recovering from an injury. I think Jeremiah Cobb would be the main rival, quote unquote, into this category. And I was really doing that for more rushing touchdowns than yards. But I think you're going to get majority and bulk of the carries are going to come from Damari Alston. So I think Damari, you're going into this year, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be RB1. He'll be in probably the first and second downs of the start of the drives, and then you'll start to rotate him in and out. So yeah, Damari Alston, my pick for who will lead Auburn in rushing yards and touchdowns in 2025. Now, this it starts to get where it's different all the time. We got 5 left, but 2 more on offense, which leaves receiving yards and receiving touchdowns. I don't have the same receiver getting both of these. So receiving yards, I have Cam Coleman. Now, second on the team last year, going into this year, definitely the best wide receiver on the roster, at least returning wide receiver. He has been outstanding since he stepped foot on campus. And with him going into this year being the wide receiver 1, I see him getting wide receiver 1 level targets. And that leaves room for him to get, about as close as we saw Keontae Lambert-Smith get to 1,000 yards last season. Whether or not he gets to 1,000 yards, I'm not sure yet. Definitely would be something to talk about later on in the offseason. But Cam Coleman, I do believe, will be leading Auburn football in receiving yards in 2025. Now, I don't have Cam Coleman leading Auburn in receiving touchdowns in 2025. I have Perry Thompson. Now, I went to A-Day, quote unquote A-Day, and I've heard about him all through spring. Perry Thompson came into spring practice ready. He came knowing that last year was not a year where, it wasn't coming to him. It was a year where he was not in the fold. He was not getting a lot of playing time. He was not getting a lot of targets. And whenever he did play, he wasn't getting the ball thrown to him. You go to the spring practice and he starts lighting it up. You go to A-Day. If you went to A-Day, you saw Perry Thompson catching a lot of passes and a lot of those were contested. And with Perry having the better 50-50 ability out of the two, I think Perry will have an opportunity to score a lot of touchdowns in 2025. And guys I kind of thought about in this receiving yards, of course, like Eric Singleton and maybe Malcolm Simmons came to mind on that. Receiving yards, receiving touchdowns. I had to think about it. Perry Thompson was my number one, but the very close second, Horatio Fields could probably sneak up into this category and lead Auburn receiving touchdowns. What Horatio Fields did at Wake Forest was, whatever you needed a 3rd and 5 or you needed for sure yardage, Horatio Fields was that guy. And if you think about getting him inside the red zone, and he's going to light it up. He's going to be a mismatch for whoever they put on him. No matter if it's a corner, a safety, or a linebacker, it don't matter. Horatio Fields could be a dark horse for Auburn's leader in receiving touchdowns in this upcoming season. So I'm going Perry Thompson, but again, I would not be shocked if Horatio Fields did it. They're not getting talked about enough. Now, switching over to the defensive side of the ball, starting off with the most basic one, tackles. Robert Woodyard. This is Robert Woodyard's year to shine. We talked about, I think he's been talked about every single year about, a player who has to step up or develop or get more time is like a process of getting Robert Woodyard the spotlight in that term. And, last year you had Eugene Asante, you had Austin Keys, Dorian Mausi. You had those guys who were, leading the charge. Robert Woodyard goes into this season, and it's him and DeMarcus Riddick are the one and the two. It's those two. Those are going to the way that Durkin runs his defense, he's going to have 2 linebackers on the field, and those 2 linebackers are going to be Riddick, and it's going to be Woodyard. Out of the two, I'm going to go with Woodyard. I think Riddick is going to be more in the pass coverage category. Woodyard's going to be the guy who's going to be plugging up gaps. He's going to be getting those for sure tackles. Quarterback tries to run out. He's going to try to get him on the edge. So Robert Woodyard's my pick for Auburn's leading tackler this upcoming season. Now, sacks, I think was another easy one to come up with. Keldrick Falk. He should have broken the record last season, but teams started, double teaming him, and then Jalen McLeod caught up and passed him. Keldrick Falk was fully on pace to just blow by Nick Fairley's record. I mean, it was not even going to be close. And again, teams became more accustomed to him. And with the attention Auburn took on the defensive line in the portal and in high school, Keldrick is not going to be the only person they got to worry about. Keiron Crawford is going to be a dog returning. Chris Murray is a dog. And you got to think about every single one of these freshmen. They're going to absolutely tear it up as soon as they're up on the field. Jordan Crawford got 2 TFLs as the nose tackle during A-Day. So I think Keldrick Falk is the obvious pick here. I would be remiss to think that anyone would pick anybody else to lead Auburn sacks this upcoming season. But Keldrick, most definitely. Now, interceptions will round us out. So I have Caleb Harris leading Auburn in interceptions this upcoming season. So the past few years, it's been a safety-heavy category. You think about Jalen Simpson a couple years back. Last year it was Jaron Thompson, who was tied with Kyan Lee. But with the amount of guys, and you imagine Kinsley Faustin and Caleb Harris are going to be your starting safeties. I really thought about putting Thegans, Anquan Thegans, or putting, Eric Waters here. Those were just ballers as true freshmen. With how Jay Crawford covers and Kyan Lee, I find it hard to believe they're going to get targeted a lot. So it's going to be really easy for the safeties to kind of try to bait the quarterback into throwing into their zone. That's where I kind of go Caleb Harris. I think Caleb Harris out of the two, and him and Kinsley Faustin, Caleb is the more athletic guy and probably the better in coverage. I like Caleb's opportunity here. I think Kinsley's going to get him a couple too. But I do see a lot more interceptions going into the hands of Auburn's defense this year. Because I think it was 6 total. Not say it was 8, I think. And it was 2 for Jaron Thompson and 2 for Kyan Lee. Then it was 4 guys with 1. Or if it was 3 guys and it was 7. It was something that it was a weird year for Auburn, especially because the Jalen Simpson's year. I mean, he had about 4 or 5 himself. So those are my picks for Auburn stat leaders going into this upcoming football season. Let me know who you think is going to lead Auburn in every statistical category. So there's some fun ones that I can try to predict too. I thought about pass deflections, I thought about forced fumbles. I thought about, punt return touchdown. If Auburn's going to get one this year, it'd be something. Let us know in the comment section below. Quick little break. Other side of this break, we'll be talking about the transfer portal because, good Lord, it's been going crazy ever since both footballs, or now that the spring cycle's over for football and now the basketball season's over. It is crazy. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Are you tired of having to rummage through just clothes after clothes after clothes looking for something to wear? Are you tired of your friends making fun of you for your terrible fashion sense? Well, do we have the shirt for you? Go to thewarreport.com, get your laptop out and do it right now. Go to the shop and get your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt as well as your college loop hat, and you can get both of them for only $25 each. Plus shipping and handling, of course. But with that, now back to your regular scheduled program.
Warreport.com, go to the second page, and you'll find both the Feelin' Loopy shirt and the college loop hat. Welcome to Auburn Baseball in your entire life. Of course, there's only one way to support the channel. It's not even the best way. It's like the bronze medal. The best way you support the channel is, of course, by liking the videos, commenting on them, letting me know your thoughts and who you think who will lead Auburn in every statistical category, and of course by subscribing to the channel, getting so close to 1,000 subscribers right here on the College Loop. So as we get ready to go on with the show, I do want to point out first, for talking transportal, rough weekend for Diamond Sports, getting swept by both their teams they took on. Of course, baseball took on the number 1 team in the country in Texas and got run ruled in the last game. Tennessee also had their way with Auburn this weekend. It was not a good week if you were an Auburn team on the diamond. Also, do want to shout out Olivia Greaves and Gabby McLaughlin taking on the national championships this week. Sadly, neither one are moving on. Olivia got a 9.7 on her bar routine, which I watched it. I don't know why it was a 9.7. I would love to talk to the judges because I think the judges are very bad this year. Gabby, though, she fell off the beam, so it did hurt the score. She had a 9.1, but I do commend both of them for making it to the Nationals. Jeff Graba's super stoked about what the future of this program looks like going down the road. And of course, everyone should be. I mean, they almost beat a lot of these teams that are moving on to the finals. So big congratulations to the girls who competed this week. So the NCAA transfer portal has had its way with Auburn University. Starting off, I mean, you're looking at another defensive back. It's the portal. Tyler Scott has entered the transfer portal, a player who entered it last season and came back. And now this year he has entered it again. And he joins C.J. Johnson. He joins Terrence Love. And the third one of that list, Auburn. I mean, a lot of the guys that have left, mostly going to be because of playing time. These freshmen that came out are just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, Blake Woodby is going to get on the field early. A lot of these freshmen are ready to play now. So that's you win some, you lose some. I'm not going to get mad. I will say shout out to Dylan Gentry, Jacksonville State, where he committed to. So I'll be watching Jacksonville State this year. But moving on to basketball, there was a big headline that happened this week, and I hate it that my show came out on the Thursday morning, and then out of nowhere, this came out, and it was just. But Chad Baker-Mazara has entered the NCAA transfer portal. From everything I've heard, it was a NIL dispute, is what it sounds like. I'm not gonna be too picky about it. It's whatever. It's the new era. I wish Chad the best of luck. I've been a big Chad defender all season long. Ever since he's gotten here, I've been a big Chad guy. The energy he brings, any team would be lucky to have him. I wish him the best of luck no matter where he goes, as long as it's not Georgia or Alabama. Because anywhere else he has, I wish him luck. Unless he plays Auburn, then I hope he has the worst game of his career against Auburn. But that's just because I'm an Auburn fan first. But I do wish Chad the best of luck wherever he goes. I can't be too mad at him. It's just the way the transfer works nowadays. A.E. Scott also announced he'll be entering the portal as well. And, of course, Ja'Kai Howard, who entered the portal earlier this offseason, has now committed to Utah. So, congratulations to those. Again, I never wish ill upon any former Tiger. As long as they don't go to Alabama or Georgia, they can do whatever once they leave Auburn. I wish him all the best of luck, especially Chad. I'm not going to be a Chad hater. If Chad – I try to just make sure I'm more informed about what's going on before I make my full opinions about everything. But I'm not going to be mad at Chad. It's hard. I've defended him so much over the past couple of years that I can't get mad. I can't. All right, now going on with the losses Auburn took, now the gains Auburn got from the transfer portal. Auburn picks up 2 more transfers to add to this basketball roster, and they are some very solid ones. To start off with Kevin Overton, coming out from Texas Tech, is going to go into his junior year. He averaged 7.8 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, and played about 22 minutes per last season for the Red Raiders. And he's a guard who's 6'5". I'm not seeing him as a starting guard for Auburn going into the season, but definitely a rotational piece that really works out for what Auburn did last year and how it can kind of how Auburn can emerge back into what they were doing. Just have this whole rotation back with a situation be back with more guards to kind of interchange instead of just having the 3. I think that's something that Bruce Pearl's really trying to go after here. Another guy Auburn picked up out of D2. I mean, of course, we're talking about like last year where Auburn was able to get Chaney Johnson, or 2 years ago, out of D2 out of Huntsville. Elijah Freeman committed to the Tigers yesterday. We're recording this Saturday. D2 prospect out of Loyola Marymount University, if that's the right LMU. But this guy, 6'8" forward. As a freshman last season, he won his conference freshman of the year. He averaged 18.9 points per game and 8.7 rebounds per game. As far as I know, I think he has 3 years of eligibility left, but I don't know how the eligibility thing works right now. It's a dumpster fire. The NCAA is a dumpster fire. But 2 massive pickups. I was watching Elijah's highlight reel all day yesterday or today as I'm recording this, and I really like his game. He didn't. I think he shot 46% from the 3-point line, but take that with a grain of salt from what it looked like. He only shot about like 1 to 2 a game. Definitely more of a driving in forward. He likes to do a little pump fake action and then drive in once the defender's off balance. Loves to kick it out. Loves to find the guy in the hole. Great playmaker. I would love to see how he develops. I mean, Chaney, you had to kind of give him a little bit to kind of get started. But Elijah, I mean, there's no telling. I mean, this is a case-by-case thing when it comes to these guys moving up from D2 or D1. But I do think it's a great pickup for BP and company because, I mean, I don't know how much or how many more Auburn transfers or how many transfers Auburn needs to bring in. I do know that a center would be nice. It'd be very nice. I think that is a top target is Auburn trying to find a center because you got Amika from Butler Community College earlier this week. So, you probably need to have another guy just put in front of him and just to give him time to kind of get rounded into the offense and everything. But I do think you need a true 5. You need a true 5 to put into this. But the team is looking good. The team is looking good thus far, and I can't wait to see how these guys play together. Basketball season again is just 9 months away. It's not 9 months, 8 months, 7 months away till we get Auburn basketball back. So it's a fun, great roster building going on right now in Auburn, especially for women's basketball, as 3 commits have happened this week. Soraya Daniels not really commit, has announced that she will be returning to the Tigers. I guess she liked what Coach Vickers had to say. Took her name out of the portal and is on her way back to the Plains. And now Auburn also bringing in two other girls, Ariel Jackson out of Cincinnati, 5'9" guard, averaged 6.9 points per game, about 3 rebounds a game, and got 2 assists per game. And this is a roster, and I'm talking about BP's roster needs to be built up. I mean, Vickers walked in and there was no one left. there was no one left on the roster. So putting in a lot of work. I love seeing what Vickers has been doing thus far. We're getting Ariel Jackson, and then of course I'm going to butcher this name, Arik Ongui. I know I butchered the mess out of that, but I got to speak on this because, oh my Lord, 6'9" center from UCF. That is, I can't even remember the last time Auburn had a women's basketball player over like 6'7", unless I'm just not knowing heights. It's been a while, and I want to say it was limited by time. She played, I think, 8 games last year for UCF as some revs their engine and drives by him. But she averaged 2.5 points per game and had about a rebound and a half during her freshman year. So she'll be coming in with 3 years of eligibility. But a great pickup for Coach Vickers. Again, I can't wait to see how this roster looks and see if it actually is a roster that can compete in the SEC. It'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. But it kind of depends on how much NIL he's been given, whether or not the portal will work fully out with them. But as long as the roster is competitive, I think it'll work out well. Of course, lenient first year. Definitely going to be a rebuilding season for the books, and that's going to. I mean, what was left for him to work with? I mean, dude, to pick up some talent that Auburn hasn't seen on the women's side of basketball in a while, or height at least. It's a great pickup for them. So that's going to do some of the College Loop podcast. Of course, I'm Dylan Larck. On Twitter. I'm on Instagram as well at Dylan Larck, DYLENLERCK. And right here in the College Loop podcast, if you like, comment, and subscribe. But let me know who you think is going to lead Auburn in every single category in 2025, this upcoming football season. And, of course, check us out on the audio versions of the show as well on Spotify podcast, and Amazon Music. And, of course, all that being said, thanks for some of the College Loop podcast yet again. Check us out on all social media platforms, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the works of the College Loop. And don't forget, as always, war